Right.
All right.
We will jump back into it. So, last time we left you, Dante. Oh, we need to get the timing of this. Perfect. You had just been to Elizabeth's house to try and speak. Oh no, you had just already
No, no,
met
no.
Elizabeth.
I
You never
didn't.
went there in the end. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
Hmm.
you didn't actually go there in the end. You had just had a conversation with Elizabeth, finished that conversation,
Okay.
and then phoned Faith. Had a bit of a conversation with Faith where she sounded on edge, a little bit nervous, and a little bit scared.
Hmm.
You tried to keep talking to her, and after a minute, she hung up the phone. But she gave you a little bit of information. She said she remembered a bit more about the day, and she basically said that she wasn't allowed to talk to you anymore. That
Hmm.
her new, boyfriend slash maybe more, Dorian, was not letting her. And yeah, so that's where we left you for the beginning of this weekend. Do you want to give me a monologue of what you were thinking about?
All right. Dante's sitting at home. He's just finished reviewing the arrival of his students to the online groups he created. He's not interacting with them particularly, just seeing how things are progressing. He hasn't expected this sort of a downturn. This has never happened before. Usually, they're pretty angry, yes, but to make a TA wish to leave, especially somebody as Johnny, who has been with Dante for a couple of years, that's unprecedented. But that's not really what's on his mind. He closes his laptop, and what he's thinking the most is, in a fucking shambles. All of this, the way we approach things, the way we come up to problems. I mean, it's just fucking amateur hour. We went to Donnelly Man's without a lot of prior information, and that place just doesn't stand anymore. Where we went to the Wicker Hound, it started a bloodbath and a man is dead. So Dante is very much in the mood to get a bit sharper, to maybe remember what it was like to have control, to plant his feet firmly wherever he goes. The conversation with Faith a day prior sparked a line of thought, a train of thought even. Sandra, one of Faith's mates from a book club, has phoned Faith and told her that her fourth child has disappeared without any trace, in circumstances very reminiscent to his own daughter's disappearance. Now, this means a couple of things. Not this, but the visit of the men in flat caps and trench coats means a couple of things. It means that, one, whatever this case is, Sandra's case, Sandra's child's case, is being watched by them. They're probably monitoring her communications. They've probably flagged Faith and know that she is involved in whoever or whatever is taking the children, which means them talking to Faith and telling Faith not to speak. Now that in and of itself is very interesting because why would they do it? Faith isn't investigating anything. Dante is. They haven't spoken in a long, long time. Now that means that these motherfuckers know. They know. The last 3 years of my life hasn't gone unnoticed. Somebody out there knows that I'm looking, that I'm not stopping to look. But they didn't come talk to me. They talked to Faith so that I wouldn't glean any more clues. which raises important questions. One, why don't they want to talk to me? Why do they want to warn me? What's the obstacle there? Two, what's Dorian's involvement in this? Is he just a controlling boyfriend? Is he like a control freak? Is he trying to help in his own moronic, warped way? But these are questions I'm going to try and investigate today.
Okay. How are you
And
going
in
to
the upcoming
investigate?
couple of days.
How are you
The
going
first
to?
thing I'll do, this is still Friday night,
Yeah,
right?
still Friday night.
The first thing I want to do is I want to go. This is weird, but Dante's been feeling quite different lately. You know what? I'll do that in the morning, I think. What I'll do tonight is I'll look into Dorian. I will look into Dorian first. I want to understand. He's Dorian. He's a lawyer. He's from Manchester. It's not going to be difficult to find a Dorian from Manchester who's either a solicitor or a barrister, honestly. Not that many Dorians around.
All right.
I want to look into his practice. I want to look into his life. I want to look into his cases. I want to understand who he is and what he is.
Give
Easiest
me
thing.
give
Yep.
me just a investigation using anything you have for like looking for the over the internet type thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't miss a detail.
mm-hmm.
I'm also going to look in the police database to see his cases, if he is a criminal attorney or not, or even if he isn't, if he's involved in any criminal cases in some capacity, if he's ever been to Almanac, etc.
Okay.
Right. I think I want to look through his cases if I find them, see commonalities, see patterns of his behavior, what kind of lawyer he is, what kind of person he is, the recurring patterns.
Okay. Recurring
And
patterns. I like that. So this is something I'm trying to do more of as well. Is the type of thing that you tell me that you use your tag for is going to change the way the type of information you'll be able to get.
yes, which
Yeah.
is again in the book is like covered by method and source. It's
Yeah.
very, very, very.
I need to do that more, but I'm doing that now.
But people don't just ask, is he a rift? Yeah. Um, and I am gonna actually look at this from another angle. Another angle being him again being involved in criminal cases, not in any capacity as a solicitor or barrister, and
As in them being around
maybe
him.
just look. Yes, them being around him, him being a witness, a suspect,
Okay.
anything, and looking into his cases to find if looking into his current case, the current case that Dorian is on, whatever it is, and seeing if I can find any detail to either hinder or help him, weirdly enough.
Okay.
I think that is a different approach. That is kind of an out of the box thing.
Right. Go for it.
Okay, investigate. Ooh,
Dynamite success. Fucking
dynamite,
hell.
baby! And
Damn.
about bloody time.
Okay. I'm gonna reveal the most valuable detail in the scene.
This is me on my laptop. This is me on my laptop looking. The only thing I will say Dante has done prior to this investigation, like before sitting down to go on the Discord, is two things. He has completely disabled his webcam
Yeah.
and mic. Just
Okay.
deleted them
Yeah.
entirely.
From the computer. Gotcha.
Hmm.
I tell you what. Ask me 3 questions first, and then I'm gonna give you the last. Don't ask the last question. I'll just give you the most important answer.
First question is, um, does Dante trace any? How do I ask this? Does Dante trace any presence, any past or maybe even impending presence of Dorian in Ulmanok in some capacity.
Yes.
And what is it?
Okay. You spend a
And
while
when is it?
searching through Dorian's cases, and the thing you find weirder and weirder is there are very few in Manchester, and the ones that are in Manchester are incredibly laxly written about. Very, very, very badly written about with very little information whatsoever.
Similar to how people write
Oh,
news in
similar to
Ulmanok?
how people write news in Almanac. Other thing you notice, because your investigation is revealing key details, they're written kind of in the same voice, tone, and that sort of style.
Ah.
The other thing you notice is
Are these all like Ulmanok papers or
no, these are
Manchester papers
all
as
like
well?
these are papers all over the internet.
Ah.
It takes much longer for you to find the cases that he has in Almanac because he's not under the name that you do find for him. By the way, the name you find from is Dorian Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name that his law firm is under.
You don't need to type. I know how Gibbs is spelled.
Okay, I'll just put it up anyway, just so you have it's Gibbs. Dorian Gibbs. That's his his law firm in Manchester, but when he's working here, he's seems to be completely a separate entity. Though he is mentioned under that name, it's not mentioned with his law firm, and it's just mentioned a lot of the time. His name is just mentioned as the solicitor of X, and there's something's lawyer did this. Very little sort of. It's like they're trying to avoid saying his name, but his picture is undeniably
So
the same
criminal
guy.
cases, right? I'm imagining
Criminal
what
cases.
I
You
found is criminal
see
cases.
a number of
I
criminal
see.
cases acting as sort of various roles. You see him as a defendant in some for a man by the name of Anton Lynch, who some of his people have
Of
been
whom I've
getting
read
into.
in the newspaper
You've read
recently.
into the news very recently. You see him. He's sort of been in some cases with him. You see he's been in some cases with land taking ownership in Kingstown,
Is
including.
this still the first clue?
This is still the first clue. It's a dynamite.
Damn.
And you see also that he's recently bought a very large. So he was bought by sorry. He was part of the purchasing and an illegal argument over a very large yacht in White Sails, with the worst possible name you could ever see. It's a gigantic yacht, and its name is the Spirit of the Sea. Ironically enough,
He was involved in an argument over it?
a little bit of an argument,
A legal dispute.
a
Okay.
bit of a legal dispute. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Was he here 3 years ago? And what does his timeline look like 3 years ago?
This takes you
around that time.
This takes you much longer to investigate and delve into. And you do sort of see that there are a number of cases dating around 3 or 4 years ago where he was in the city. Doesn't perfectly line up with what happened with Vanessa, but he definitely was around, or could have been around.
But still the same kind of cases. Nothing unusual.
Nothing unusual. Yeah, all the same
Okay.
sort of. I mean, it is unusual. Like, he's solicitor in Manchester. He shouldn't be dealing with this kind of criminal cases.
Nothing more unusual.
No,
Nothing
nothing more.
that seems pertinent.
No.
What's the third clue? Okay, the third clue. I need to know his current schedule, or like his current case and the court dates of his current case, so that I can maybe get a hold of Faith during those, so that
Okay.
she's not interrupted by her helicopter boyfriend.
You see that his next big court appearance is happening in Almanac, in Barrow Ridge, and it is a rather large case, quite a publicly talked about case at the moment, actually. No, so one that sort of disappeared off the news recently, but it's one that's still on people's minds because it was such a shocking incident. But he's on the sorry, not the defense. The what's the one? Oh, God, my brain. Persecution? No. What's the word?
I forget them too. It's the civil case.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, he's against a young man, ex-rugby player, who strangled his girlfriend in a pub.
Or beat to death, isn't it?
Beat to death or strangled. It's yeah.
They don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a civil case against Haberman.
Yep.
And he's Haberman's solicitor.
He's against Haberman. He's for the state.
He is for the. Oh God, it's amazing because out of character. Because one of the first things I wanted to do is that in that lecture hall after Maddie fucked off, was pick up the phone, ring Nahia, and tell her, "Let's go talk to Haberman." Like completely without it would have fit so well.
Yeah.
Interesting. But who does he represent in that case?
You have a look at. There's two suits against him. There's the city against him. There's also unknown, anonymous party.
But it can't be unknown, right? They have to declare.
Not completely.
He has to represent someone.
He's representing. At the moment he's representing the city, but he's also received substantial funding from an outside party that has interests in this. That has not revealed themselves.
It has to be Lynch. Well, it doesn't have to be. The suspicion right now should be on Lynch. So that's my 3 clues.
Your 4th clue, which perhaps is the one that most sort of seems to catch you, is you are searching through information about him, trying to find stuff. Oh God, how to frame this? How to say that you found this?
Let me help you out. I would have looked through anything around the school at the time. I would have looked through anything connecting to Vanessa's friends at the time, all of whose names and his parents' names Dante has. I would have even looked through their social media. So this like dynamite thing probably takes me entire evening.
I'm gonna say with your 4th clue, of all places, you end up on Facebook, and you end up searching through Faith's Facebook and various of her friends' Facebooks, and without meaning to it, you have various tabs open to various Facebook accounts of other families whose children have also lost a child. And it's not always Dorian. But you start noticing a pattern, which is coming up, and you're shocked that you didn't notice it before, but coming up to the disappearance, there's always a couple of sort of like nervous posting, like, or posting or a picture with someone in the background, quite far off. And it's in Faith's one that you see that it is Dorian. And he is sitting at a bench on his phone in a picture with Faith and Vanessa, where they are just in the park walking along, and you see Dorian in the background on his phone. And in another Facebook profile, you see a woman whose son disappeared. And they're on a Ferris wheel, and sort of like on the down below, there's Dorian is sort of like in the crowd with a hat and scarf on, sort of just like at a game stand. And in other ones, it's different people, but you see the same different people in multiple Facebook accounts of people who have got.
Dante would notice it, in all fairness.
Yeah. Now, it's only because you got the dynamite that you do start to see reoccurring faces in the backgrounds of pictures coming up to the time.
I need a second. I know how to process this. I need a second. I know what Dante does next, which I mean, Dorian's coming to Barrow Ridge, to Haberman's. Did I get in all of this? Did I get Haberman's solicitor's name?
You do you want to have a look for it?
Do you need me to roll again?
No. So I'll say it's he's paying for his own. With his family's also paying for it. And it's like they've gone all out to protect their son. So it's a pretty well famous guy. His name is Will Eldridge. Eldridge, sorry. He's a pretty big time defendant solicitor, and he's good.
This is a massive break. This is like the break, and of all the things that like 3 years, right? 3 years passes. The very first break that Faith gets, which is another disappearance, right? Which we haven't heard anything like this in 3 years. 3 years, another disappearance. She doesn't say me. She doesn't ring. She doesn't tell me anything. She doesn't say shit. So first, like Dante was already pretty angry with her about that. But now, Dorian kind of hobbled himself. He didn't have to be with her. Why is he with her? It's an interesting question. Like, why is he? I was thinking of attacking this entirely differently, but now it's not about what Faith knows, because clearly Dorian knows much, 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 much more.
Can I do? Oh shit! I need to do one more thing. No, I can't tell you that. You didn't ask that. Sorry.
Yeah, if I didn't ask that, I didn't ask that. I already got a lot, mate. This is a
Yeah.
lot to think about. So he's involved. I know his schedule. I know he comes to Barrow Ridge to a hearing, which means I need to speak to Harberman before that. I need to speak to his solicitor, through solicitor, establish contact with Harberman. If Harberman doesn't want to speak to me, I think I know what to tell him to make him. I think, maybe. Um, that's going to be Monday. That's going to be with Nahia. That's not going to be on my own. Just honestly, this isn't like even for role playing purposes. I think it has to be with Nahia. You know what I mean? It's only right if it's with Nahia.
Dante would also probably think, you've got a person who
He thinks
literally
along the
knows
lines
him.
of no. He thinks along the lines of Dante thinks along the lines of like I don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very good outing to see what kind of person she is.
But
Because
it's
he's
also
seen
like
what kind of
you've got
he's seen
someone
what
who
kind of
knows
people
that.
the rest of the group are. Yeah, he's seen what kind of people the rest of the group are, and it's also like better to talk in two, like having a
Yeah.
conversation. It's better if one of us is a sympathetic one, and she might be the sympathetic one. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I need to talk to Nahia. Until then, I need to establish the reason for. I mean, right now I need to sleep. This dynamite investigation would
It
have
would have
taken
drained you,
a
yeah.
while,
No, this is
a while.
it's like by the time you finish, you're rubbing your eyes, and you've got that sort of like square eye feeling, and you kind of feel kind of dizzy looking away from the screens for a bit, and you notice that it's like 1 a.m. and you are exhausted.
It's exhausted, but at the same time, there's like energy coursing through him because of what he found. This is a massive break, and this is the first like the fact that there's another Ulmanok was already huge. And right now, Dante thinks that maybe he hasn't been knowing these things because, I don't know, because maybe he's been looking at them right in the face and never seeing them. It's distressing a bit given who he is and what he is. But yeah, he goes to sleep. I'm going to say he probably, like, mulling over everything he's just heard, smoking a cigarette, just goes to sleep like that, cigarette in hand, almost popping into ashtray. I'm assuming no dreams or nothing that's
You
significant or world shattering.
No, you slip off into dreamless sleep. No
Okay,
voices in your head tonight. It's almost like they're
that's a
very
mercy.
far away.
That is a mercy for once. He wakes up in the morning and almost like he's back to his old self, but this isn't entirely his old self. He's a new man in a way. He's going to change a few things. First, he's going to go and just just put a pair of leather gloves in his pocket, just in case, just so he has them. Because, as I said, it's been amateur hour, and he's fucking done with it. He's done with everything being run like shambles. If we're going to get ahead of Grace and Dorian and Fear and this West character, I mean, deep down, I'm hoping this West character is not a threat, but whoever's destroying these statues and whatever's going on, if I'm going to succeed, I need to, be at the top of my game. I'm also going to change into steel toe shoes just for fun. Um, what's the first thing I would do in the morning after, the basic stuff? The first thing I would do is I would ooh, no calls?
On your phone? No.
No, damn it. I was really hoping maybe I got to Zyra. I was really hoping that maybe I got to Zyra. I was really hoping maybe I got to Anselm, but none of them seem to give a shit. Um, I'm going to look into flat caps. It's interesting that they don't want to approach me. And what is their involvement here? Are they protecting whoever Dorian works for? Is whoever Dorian works for Lynch? Or what's going on? Because it's interesting, right? There's only two reasons cops, even mystical cops, would be involved in something like this. If they're trying to protect witnesses from any potential harm, which is the unlikely scenario, the more likely one, they are protecting someone more powerful, meaning Dorian is the one who called them. Meaning, as soon as Sandra called Faith and they had a conversation, she shared the news with Dorian. Dorian called the flat caps. The flat caps came and said, "Keep stumm." So I need to understand what this organization is. I know a few people who have been in the city longer than me, in the real city. I could call one of them, but I don't trust calls right now. I could go visit one of them. I think I'll do that later. Before that, I need to estimate the size of this organization and their involvement in the Almanac affairs. I know that Zyra wrote an article. I'm gonna I'm gonna read that article again. And
Okay.
based on the incidents, based on the number of incidents, based on the description of how many people that were involved, I'm gonna try to estimate a few things.
So I'm not going to make you
Which
make a
part
check
of
for
Woolman?
this because she only wrote one story
Okay,
on the flat caps. Um, it
I'm gonna look
is.
for others.
Oh yeah. So, but I'm just saying this is from reading Zyra's one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only story she wrote on the flat cap people. She wrote on other story stuff, but this is the only one she wrote on the flat cap people. It's very sort of open ended. It sort of has rough idea of just a couple of instances with various sort of witness accounts. The most she sort of gives is like 10 or 11 various witness accounts of this happening. And even she sort of comes to think of like, yes, this could be da 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 da, but there's also, it's very unlikely. And she sort of does a counter in it with her argument. She goes, it's very unlikely that this is a closed thing. The sheer, the amount of people is enough that it's worth questioning, not to mention the things that are like, but she can't give any further numbers. There's just not enough. There's not enough case for you to draw more than like the 15 or 16 cases that she lists.
So they are involved, and I need to know more about them. I need to know they were there with Jasmine. They're involved in this. They said they're looking after bad guys. So what is this? What is their involvement? Is Dorian playing them to make Faith not contact me, or so I don't know what capacity they're involved in. I don't think I can find out from my house, but I can try and estimate how big this organization is. You know, sightings, where they go in Ulmanok. Is there any sightings outside of Ulmanok? You know what I mean?
Give me an investigation with -2, and the -2 is gonna say is gonna say many doors.
-2. So this is similar tags, but a couple of different ones. Doesn't miss a detail because I do want to scour everything I can on the internet.
I'm gonna say if you're looking on the internet, Cyrus is probably one of the only. Oh no, there would be forums and shit. Okay, I'll allow it doesn't miss a detail. I'll allow it doesn't miss a detail.
I don't think. See, I'm going to argue against myself. I don't think in this instance I'm not going to say recurring patterns because I'm looking at a recurring pattern in full.
That's it. That's the only summary of a recurring pattern that anyone has of it. Yeah.
But I am good at them. So do I mark or not? I'm going to say, because I'm trying to extrapolate their number or like how widespread they are, I'm gonna just mark mathematics because that's more pertinent. I'm gonna like use mathematical analysis, statistical analysis specifically.
Okay.
Statistical analysis to see, like, to estimate their numbers. You don't have to give me, obviously. This is like, again, method and source. Method is statistical analysis, which means you give me an estimate, not a real number.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to look in police database to see if any of them were involved in anything. Just again, to map out the spread of them.
Okay. I'll allow that.
Ooh. What is is there a way to look at this out of the box? Is there a cool way to approach this problem that my guy would have thought about? Oh yeah. They must be buying those places somewhere. Something produces those flat caps and those trench coats. So I'm going to look for that. I'm going to look where they get their gear.
Okay.
I'm going to look where they get their gear from because it's interesting, right? They all have a uniform of sorts. Either they get their gear from somewhere, pre-made, or there's a shop somewhere they're like made of rose with a crushing thorns that is imprinted on the lapel. So I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at what's up with their sense of fashion.
Okay. All right, that's a great success. Give me 2 questions.
That's nearly it.
I know.
Okay, 2 questions. One is the obvious one I was investigating. What is the spread and total power? Like not power, but like total. What is the spread and the what is the geographical spread and the estimate of people in this organization? At least people who are going out there grabbing folks and stuff.
Geographical spread. This investigation is like trying to catch mist in your hands. It's just you end up cataloging more stuff on just complete, nonsense, aliens kidnapping people, crap, before you ever find anything substantial. I'm going to say globally, all the stories are contained within Ulmanok. There doesn't seem to be any stories beyond Ulmanok. You check Manchester, no mention of it in Manchester. No stories connected to Manchester.
That means they took a right to Ulmanok from Manchester. They were that bothered. That means they were that bothered to go to Manchester and talk to Faith.
The next thing you know...
That bothered. It can't be me.
The next thing you know is that you try to estimate sort of like their scope, the amount of them. You are completely unable to tell. The biggest estimate I can give you, biggest estimate I could give you is between 200. No, so I'm going to give you 2. The estimate is between 200 people to around possibly 1,500.
Well, that's a big
Yeah,
confidence
that's a big
interval. So
old
yeah,
spread.
that's a big old spread. Okay, it's time to knock on some doors. You know what I'll do? Oh, sorry, I have a second question. I have a second question about fart cups. Which tags did I do? This is math. This is like mathematics and detail game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, police database. I would like to know if I can find any cases, any other cases they have done their involvement in, if there is like a recurring police personnel in those cases. I want to know if they have liaisons in the police, if they have snitches in the police, if they have their own people in the police. That's my
With
point.
okay, with your studying, you do not find any of that. Like, the one thing you do find is an absence of stuff. So from
Mm,
tons of searching yet again, it takes a hell of a lot of searching, but you get lucky enough and you manage to start seeing a recurring pattern of cases that are missing things. You
hmm.
know, witnesses who are about to,
Like my own.
about to confess who go missing. People of violent natures who are about to be questioned, who suddenly the case is dropped against them and they go free / disappear. You know, cases that don't just don't quite make sense. As far as you can tell, there's no continued police like names popping up, apart from like the head of police officials, like the head of the police. Like, that's it.
I see.
Who would his name would pop up in everything because, you know, he's the head
Yeah.
of the police. So you're not able to tell if that's a connection
Okay.
to them or if that's just.
So, given that this again is something that's very obstructed by the same power that really precludes any sleepers from seeing anything, I think this takes down to like maybe a good 4 hours at least.
Yeah.
Like a few good cups of tea with no sugar, and just this does paint a picture though, and looking at absence of things is a way to look at it from another angle. So I'm happy with that. Uh, I'm gonna call Dorian's firm.
You're told us firm?
I'm gonna call
Okay.
Dorian's firm and just ask for him. And if they say transferring, I'll hang the phone.
Okay. You start
But
to.
I'm gonna anonymize it just to be clear.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough.
What happened?
You
Okay.
call to his Manchester firm. It rings for a while, and then it comes to a very chipper woman's voice that goes, "Thank you for calling Gibbs Attorneys and Solicitors. Sorry, I guess solicitors. Please leave a message after." No, sorry. Sorry. It says, sorry. Your call is valuable to us. Please hold, and we will answer it as soon as possible. And then it cuts to some sort of like chirpy, poppy kind of music, that continues for a good 15 minutes or so,
Yeah. For good
before
3 cigarettes.
you go through them after, and it gets more and more frustrating, and it keeps breaking to like go back to that woman's voice going like, your call is important to us, please hold and we'll get to you as
I want
soon
to
as
say
we
something.
can. Yeah.
Dante's not frustrated. Dante's
Okay.
just using this time to keep searching stuff. He doesn't find anything, but that in and of itself says things.
Okay. It keeps going, and after like 30 minutes, the phone clicks and you hear, "Hello, this is oh god, where am I? Sorry, one moment." And it cuts off for a second. It goes, "Yeah, this is Gibbs's."
Is it his voice?
It's
I've
not a
heard him
man. No,
speak.
it's a woman who sounds very tired and disinterested.
Um, Excuse me, miss. Could I speak to Dorian Gibbs, please? Have I called the right number?
Mr. Gibbs is out at the moment. We're dealing with a lot of cases. Your clientele
I,
is very
I, I,
important to
I,
us.
I hang the phone. I hang the phone immediately as she says that.
Okay.
Put it down. I can't call Faith. Ask her where to meet Sandra. I think it'd be unfair of me to ask you of a flashback in a one-on-one that has no danger for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I need to. Does Dante remember anything about Sandra other than book club?
You remember being, I'm gonna say just without a check, you remember her being bubbly, a little bit sort of
I can
like,
roll a check.
no, no,
What do you
I
need?
don't think you need one.
Need me to roll?
You've got a good memory. Bubbly,
Mm.
quite unsure of herself. Husband and her were not in love, married too young, had kids way too
Mm-hmm.
young, but they stayed together. Had a bit of skill with with art and pottery, but just never like pursued it. Desperate for love, for like real attention or someone to treat her
Okay.
like they cared.
So, given everything, given what I've learned today, I'm pretty sure there's a good to decent chance I'm being monitored at the university. There's a good to decent chance I'm just being followed at some point. I do, however, need to speak to Sandra, and I need to do it somewhere when she's not being watched. So I need to find out her habits. That means I need to call Faith. But that prick is hovering, and I don't want him to know because he's involved. I need him to think his ruse worked. I need him to think his ruse worked. Fuck, I need to talk to someone at least. It's Saturday, right? It's
Saturday.
Saturday. It's
Saturday.
afternoon. I can either go find. I don't want to. I don't want to burden Celia with this, but she'll probably know more than James. I don't want to talk to Arabella because I don't trust her, even after what Elizabeth told me. Um, I'll go to the bar that James hangs out in. I'll
Okay.
go find him without a call. Kind of. Yeah. I'll go see James.
Okay. On a Saturday at this sort of time, you head over to the bar and he doesn't seem to be there. There's a group of students sort of chilling around, and do you ask about James, or how do you go from there when he's not there?
I don't. I'll just call him at that point.
Okay. You call him, you get through to him, and he's sounds like he's in a room with like lots of noise at the moment, and he answers and he sort of goes, Dante, how's it going?
James, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm okay.
I went to the pub that we met at last time, but you don't seem to be here.
Oh, I can come. I can come right now. Right now.
How about the park nearby? Hmm?
Sounds like a plan. Okay. I'll see you there. And
I'll see you soon, mate.
he hangs up.
Yep. All right.
Couple
I
minutes
go to the
later,
park.
you meet him in the park, and he's heading towards you. First thing you notice from a distance, he's sort of dressed in same raggedy sort of clothes. He's got a bit of the punkish sort of look going on.
Hmm.
You do notice he's got a faded bit of like a bruise on his chin, not like a bad one, but like a faint bruise on his chin, where it wouldn't have been a hard hit, but it was sort of, maybe it might have been a slap or like a
Okay.
bit of a knuckle, you know.
I shake his hand. I just very warmly shake his hand. Hey, mate.
Hey,
How you been?
not bad, not bad. Getting through
I
things.
nod. I nod towards the bruise and say, "He's still trying to teach you a lesson."
Uh, he's been d- distant for a while.
Yeah, they get like that.
Hmm,
You know, start growing up, think they don't need you.
yeah. I mean, I sometimes forget that he's not there to help out, you know, and then I pick up more than I can chew. It's a,
Happens to all of us.
it's a girl in the club last night, and no, sorry, no, he doesn't say last night. He says a couple of nights ago, and he goes, guy was grinding on her, so I told him to get off, and well, in the, you know, usually he would have stepped in then, but he didn't.
I see. So, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it makes me feel a bit worried. Like, I don't feel as safe anymore, and I feel a bit, I don't know. I'm wondering if I did good things before because they were good, or if because it was they were easy for me with him.
It would be a worry if you didn't wonder about that. Yes. Not a bad instinct to have. Self-doubt, as long as it doesn't cripple you.
Yeah.
You know?
I just
You know, something occurred to me recently when I was thinking about you and him.
yeah.
I've seen you two work together, you know. I mean, together. Not like
I mean,
him taking over. Oh, come on, think about it.
when we work together, it's like when I get him under control, he's amazing. It's like, and his stutter sort of fades a little bit. And he goes, "It's like we have so much potential to do right, and he wants to do right. You know, like
But he's worried about you constantly, isn't he?
That was the one thing that was nice about the other night was I didn't have to worry about ripping that dickhead to pieces. Which, you know, sometimes I'm scared of doing good things because I'm scared of what he might do. And now I'm scared that I can't do good things because I can't do anything.
You can still do good things. Look, you're a good man, James. You just have this person now in your life that you're responsible for. And he looks up to you. And he expects you to be the grown-up. And he expects you to make the right decisions because he can hit hard and he can throw that spear straight, but he doesn't know how to make right decisions. You have to be the grown-up. He has to trust you. That's your power.
He's just... He sort of rubs his forehead a bit and goes, yeah, maybe. So what was this call about?
Do you know anything about men and women in trench coats and flat caps with a thorned rose on their lapels?
You say this and he sort of looks a bit nervous and he looks right and left and he goes, I forget how new you are.
I'm catching up.
A little bit. Not much, though.
Can you tell me anything about them, James? I need to understand what I'm dealing with.
Yeah. They call them silver roses or cappies or other names I don't really want to say.
Pricks. I like pricks. They look like pricks to me.
Yeah. They're kind of like the police, but some of them aren't. Anselm told me about them. he got me out of some trouble with them. That's why I owe him so much, you know. He's.
I see.
You haven't seen him, by the way. He's been quiet recently.
I don't know where to see him, man.
Yeah.
I don't know where people go. As you said,
Well,
I'm new.
without
Give
the
him my number.
without the Wicker Hound, I don't really know where. I know there's other safe places, but I haven't found one. So places like that, like the Wicker Hound, they're they're what's called sanctuaries. They're places that are permitted for us to stay in, to be safe in from the other stuff. And the silvers, the flat caps, the cappies, they hunt down all the stuff that's out there, and that's dangerous.
You see, there's a look of disgust on Dante's face at the word knitted. It's worse than I fucking imagined.
They're not all
right.
They're not all bad. I mean, there was Duncan. He's the one who used to be it's like a sheriff of some kind. I'm not sure of the area. Well, of Tomb Street, right down to Candle Street. He liked helping people. He was the one that
said was. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. He was the one that what?
That he was the one that helped people. He was like a well, when they came for me, Ansem spoke for me, and Duncan was the one that let me off. Said I wasn't dangerous, that the other guy was dangerous, and that he thought I could manage him.
Came for you because of 2 miles.
No, that happened a long time ago. That one. No, this was a different incident.
I see. This Duncan, you're referring to him in the past tense. What happened to him?
Well, I mean, I haven't really seen him for a very long time. From what I knew, he stayed in Lucia in at the Wicker Hound, and then he just sort of left it in her hands. I never really saw him round there after that.
So you don't know where I could find him?
No. You don't want to find the silver thorns. They're not always as good, from what I hear. Some of them can be
Meg.
Unnecessarily violent.
I see. So nothing that different from normal cops, really. Just more damage.
Yeah, with people like me, we kind of, when they bring us in, the dangerous ones, I mean, they judge you. They bring you to the council, and they categorize you. some of the ones that they think are dangerous but useful, they get turned straight back into cappies.
I see. So they're recruiting from the numbers of their own suspects.
Sometimes, yeah.
This council you mentioned,
Yeah.
how are they organized?
No one really knows, to be honest.
I see.
We know
One
there's,
of those you get to see them and never talk about them deals.
yeah, to a degree. They we know there's several of them, and they are like us, and they seem to have somewhere that they have as their base, but they keep order in the city.
So, some of the pricks are bent, same as always. Some of them, like Duncan. Again, what happened to Duncan?
I don't know. I mean, rumor is he's still around. He likes to work down by the river, from what I hear, but that's not something you can rely on, really.
All right.
They're dangerous, though.
You helped a ton, James.
They're
Of
dangerous.
course they are.
They have
They're cops.
no, but you don't understand. They have things that are really, really, really effective at dealing with people like us. Really effective.
Such as?
Well, they put cuffs on me that made me less connected to him. The more I wore them, the more weaker and fragile I felt. They had pistols that seemed to be, I don't know, they looked and felt different to me. When I look at before, when I was a kid and I looked at pistols, I knew they could kill me. You see an object that can kill you and you can tell it's a killing object. But since my powers came about, those things, they look like toys now. What these men were carrying, what the flat caps have, they look like pistols again.
I see. We can stop talking about them. You've had plenty. Cheers, mate.
He lets out a sort of a long breath and he goes, I hope that helps.
It does. More than you know, man. More than you know. Hey, you mind if I say hi to him for a second?
I don't know how he's not come out since you last spoke to him.
Well, how about you ask him? Tell him I want to say hi. He's listening to us right now.
Okay.
Dante looks straight at James's eyes, like kind of leans in a bit and says, I just want to say hi.
James sort of closes his eyes, and as he does, the hunch in his back starts to ease a bit, so that he's not hunched, but he rolls his shoulders forward a lot of the time. Now his shoulders roll back, and he sits straight. His breathing eases to a low, sort of smooth breath, and his eyes flicker open. He's not fully there, not the way he was last time, but he's there. That mad, sort of animalistic killer instinct flickering in those eyes. The grin, a confident, assured smile, the smile of a man who knows that he can hurt you if he chooses to.
Yeah.
All right.
Dante just throw his arms open and says, Hound!
What do you want to talk about? Come to ruin more of my fun, have you? Or are
It occurred
you...
to me. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Go ahead.
It occurred to me that I was a touch ungrateful last time.
You might say that. He got this here slap because of you. I wanted to step in, but always your words were ringing in my head. He can handle it on his own.
That's not what I mean, mate. I mean, you've been looking after him for a while now.
I
For
have.
a long while.
I've been looking after him long before you came along.
I know. And I wanted to thank you. Dante just extends his arm in to shake.
He sort of looks at your arm and there's a twinge of sort of uncertainty and disgust, almost like you're reaching a hand out to a kicked hound. He sort of goes, I don't need your bloody thanks.
I still want to give them.
What do
I
you think you're
appreciate what you've
doing
done for
here?
my friend.
What do you think you're doing here? First you come along saying I'm not necessary, now you come along saying thanks.
I was wrong. I can be wrong.
Bullshit. This is a trick.
It's not. I'm truly grateful. I am. He's still standing there with his hand open.
You need me, don't you?
No, I have nothing to ask you.
To hurt someone.
No. I just want to thank you. I need to thank you because you've helped a friend of mine, and that means something to me.
Give me a convince check, please, with a -1 for uncertainty. And also, there's not a paranoia, I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's fine. Commanding presence.
Commanding? Are you commanding him? You're asking him.
Yeah, but I'm still I'm still coming across as if I'm telling the truth. I'm not coming across as I'm trying to trick you.
I'll allow commanding presence. It's on the line, but I'll allow it.
I am on your side because that's what I'm telling
Definitely.
The new thing, because he's gonna have to stop and consider my words.
Yes. With a -1.
And yeah, that's it. Yep. Oof. I missed.
You say this to him, and he sort of looks at your hand, and a low, sort of deep, guttural comes deep from within him, and it rolls over threateningly, and then it turns into a... You think I'm gonna be your hound? Hurt people for you?
No. Look at me. No.
I've seen your light before. You think...
I don't want that. No for you, no for him. I don't want that.
Fair dues. I'll go back then.
I want you to consider one thing. I want you to consider one thing. Just one thing. I know that you need each other. I know that you help him. I know he helps you. I know he's trying to find ways to help you better. I know he is. I know keeps getting hurt. And him getting a slap, trust me, mate, that's not the worst that can happen. He needs to learn to endure that on his own. But you need each other. I know that. I want you to consider something. There are things in this life, questions in this life, which will be asked of both of you, him and you, and you can't answer them with the tip of your spear. They're not going to be that easy.
That's where you're all wrong. You see, all this time, he's been holding me down. That boy that slapped him in the club. A while back, I might have just beat him senseless, Maybe broken a few teeth, put him in a coma. But no. Problem is, people like you, people like him, you never see that it's not enough. I should have ripped him in half.
Why? What would that achieve?
It's ending him. Ending filth. It's all fucking filthy.
You were listening to us, weren't you? You were listening to us talk. You were in danger.
No.
James saved you. James had to plead for you.
No.
Otherwise, both
James
of
had
you
to stop
would
me
have been...
saving him, or I would have ripped them all to pieces.
No, you wouldn't have, mate.
You have no fucking idea
You
what I'm
look at
capable
yourself.
of.
You look at yourself, and you look at James, and all you see is an instrument of violence, and that's not what I see.
I'm the fucking instrument. And he stands, and as there's a clicking sound, and the spear is there in his hand, swirling
Again,
through
Dante
the air.
doesn't flinch.
I'm the fucking instrument. You don't understand what it's like. You don't have a fucking clue. The whole world is balanced to the tip of my spear.
Is it? What does it feel like?
He stares at you and he steps forward and he goes, "It feels right." And he steps back. There's a clicking noise and the spear disintegrates. He goes, "You're not worth the fight. You're not worth killing."
I don't see why you would kill me. Are you afraid of me?
You think you can help him. You think you know what's best for him.
No, I don't. No, he knows what's best for him. He's going to find that on his own.
We'll see.
I just want to share what I can. To him and to you.
You're so full of shit. Giving all your condescending views to me, acting like you're reaching out. You're trying to kill me. That's what you're trying to make me.
There's no condescension. I mean it.
Oh, I know you. Any day now, you'll propose it to him. You'll say. That's what you'll do. I know it.
I'll propose what?
You'll tell him to do it. And he'll listen. And he'll be alone. And he'll die alone without me.
Dante looks at Hound, like with the most sincere face in the world, and he says, "You'll forget me. You know that, right? A while back, somebody I knew, he got rid of his whatever it was. He forgot everything. Didn't remember a thing. Why would I tell my mate to forget me?"
You just want to neuter me.
I don't want to separate you two. I don't.
You're lying.
I never want.
You're lying.
I never.
You're lying! And he roars, and there's a shout. As he shouts that, it echoes outwards. He goes.
Dante still stands. He stands his ground. I'm not. You'll have to process those words on your own. But I'm not. I mean it. I'm not the enemy. I'm not trying to separate you. I'm trying to get you both to, I don't know, have something to look forward to. Together.
You don't realize it. This world, it's seconds away from what it used to be. I remember it all. The chariots, the fire, the blood, the women washing blood off clothes. I was there. And this world, your world, is 5 seconds from that. What are you gonna do? What are all of you gonna do without me when it tumbles into that again? You need people like me. 'Cause I'm the only thing that kills the shit that's gonna rip you apart.
Dante kind of looks around and says, "You're having that argument with the wrong person." As mentioned previously, I have no designs to rid the world of you.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to believe me right now. Look at me. I'm not lying. Why would I lie? Why would I do it? For what purpose?
You want me to put
What
my
does it
guard
serve?
down, want me to lower my spear, then neuter me like a fucking pup.
All right. You are pissing me off, mate.
I'm
You
done
remember
with this.
back in Wicker Hound when James and I were standing door and Halford was there pointing at a dead man and pointing at the man with the silver armor and telling him, "Don't try anything. If you run, my friend there will kill you." You know what that felt like? It pissed me off. It pissed me off because all Halford saw in James and in you is violence and nothing else.
That's what I am. That's what we
Doesn't have to be
are.
all you are. Doesn't have to be all you are.
You don't get it. You're a man
I
of
do get
peace. I'm a
No,
man
I'm
of
not.
blood.
You think I'm a man of peace? You don't know shit about me, mate. What peace? With what? I've not known peace
I
for a
saw
long
you.
fucking
I saw
time.
your bloody dove.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think it means?
I'm done with this conversation. I'm done with it. You deal with the wimp. You tell him to neuter me. See what it's like when I'm gone. And as he says that, the look in James's eyes splutters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And James is standing before you again.
You alright, mate?
What did you say to him?
The truth?
Huh?
I failed to impress it on him. So, I think I'll have to try again sometimes later. I did mean it. He looks James dead in the eyes and says, I did mean it.
James sort of goes, I'm not sure he can hear you at the moment. He's
Maybe.
really far away.
I think he's scared of me a little.
Yeah. Do you talk to James about anything else?
I just go buy him a pint, honestly. Like
Okay.
that's it. I just
The
want
rest
to go buy him a
The rest of
a pint. I don't buy one for myself because I have to stay off.
your conversation with him is
I buy
pretty
him a pint.
easy.
Yeah.
He has a pint, and as always, when he's got a little bit of alcohol in him, his stutter eases a little bit, and he starts telling you about classes, about stuff like this. He's
Yeah.
one of his
And
friends
also-
convinced him to download Tinder, but he's shit at it and he hates it. And just a mundane shit that's going on in his life.
Yeah. I don't want to hop on Hound anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that'll be like for one of the main sessions, honestly.
Mm.
I'm not, again, Dante's not giving up on James. Dante's not giving up on Hound either. He meant every word he said.
Yeah,
He
but
wasn't trying to trick
you sadly you missed your convince.
I know.
So
I know.
yeah, he just
I know,
doesn't believe you at the
but-
moment.
That's okay. Another chance. How much do we have left? Is this gonna be it?
I think we're gonna have what you have one more day. Let's jump now to Sunday, and we'll do Sunday.
Yeah. In the evening on Saturday, I don't think there's anything. He'll. Let me consider the evidence I gathered. That's a lot. He told me a lot. I don't want to bother Celia with it. As it is, I already I think nearly gave her an aneurysm with all the shit I'm putting her through. Who do I talk to? I need to talk to Sandra. Let's go find Sandra on Sunday. Dorian's
Okay.
still going to work, so I'm going to have to find Sandra on my own. So Dante will
Investigation
go to
check.
sleep. Here's the investigation check. I'm gonna go to sleep thinking of her, so that my brain works on the memory problem while I sleep, so I wake up with something.
Okay,
That's
what
looking at
checks
things
are you
from
gonna do?
another
Well, yeah,
angle.
that's looking at things from another angle. Give me a check
Memory
for that.
stuff,
Memory
memory stuff,
stuff.
because
Memory stuff.
Dante would have remembered some errant
Yeah,
detail.
memory stuff, definitely.
Faith mentioned about Sandra. Maybe she likes
Mm-hmm.
playing whatever the fuck. Maybe she goes out to the races. I don't know,
Yeah.
right? You never know. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe Sandra has an interest in pottery. I
Yeah.
just that type of. Uh, that's it. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Give me a
That's
roll.
it. Investigate. What is it?
Oh, that's an
8.
8. Okay, ask me 2 questions.
I'll ask you 2 questions. I'll exchange you 2 for like, because okay, let's ask 2 fuzzy or whatever you choose questions.
Oh, but I choose what happens.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
said or whatever. I
Yeah.
covered that.
Gotcha.
um, First, does Dante remember any detail of what Sandra's routine was? If there's any unusual place she visits, if there's anything where it's not likely she's to be under surveillance or something, where you can approach it more or less safely.
Um he tries to remember as much as he can
Hmm.
about Sandra. You do remember that she was trying to be a potter. That was actually I said that earlier. She was actually a attempted to be a potter, and she was just she was okay. She actually had the makings of being quite good, but she just sort of fell into a traditional family role and never got out of it. Um, you do know that she attended for a while a little pottery studio on the weekends down in sort of like upper Yarnsgate and sort of like the poorer area of Yarnsgate. There's sort of like this little tiny pottery studio where you could get lessons on the weekend. You do know about that. The other thing that you remember is that her husband was a big fan of like fishing, and that one of the things that he used to do was head out to Old Harbor, where there's a very small set of like keys in Old Harbor, and him and his friend would head out for the day on a little ship, little rib called Spare Rib,
Without their wives, presumably.
without their wives, called Spare Rib.
Okay,
But
that's a lot.
you also remember where she lived, which is she lives in like not too far. Well, you're not certain she's somewhere in Yarnsgate, but not too far. Like you
Somewhere in
roughly
Yarns
remember
Gate.
the area.
Okay, so second question.
This is
Is
all in
there
your dreams, by the way.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I was thinking like I woke up and this started bubbling up to the surface.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
No.
am I
That's
remembering
the way we'll do
dreams?
it. Okay.
No, it's up to you. It's
No.
up
No.
to
No.
you.
No.
Just
This is better. This is better. Don't worry. I've something.
um the other thing. Ah, I see you. Okay. The other thing I'm gonna ask is, yeah, is there anything I remember that her? Did she have a hobby on Sundays? Anything like that? Any
That's
remote
the pottery
chance?
club. You remember the pottery club.
Oh,
You're not
the
certain if
pottery
she
club.
the pottery club in Yarnsgate, Upper Yarnsgate. That's the only thing you remember as a hobby wise thing. As you
Okay,
folk
then I think the second clue will be as I wake up, I just Google all the pottery places in Yarnsgate,
Okay.
right?
As you start to Google that, for the first question, as your images are surging back into your mind, in between all of these images, you get the faint feeling of, of an image that flashes through your head of a pair of blind, milky eyes
Mm-hmm.
watching you. And you have a disturbing feeling that your dreams have been witnessed.
Okay.
You get
I'm
to your
feeling.
computer and you start to Google the. You find 4 or 5 little small pottery like the type of studios that she would go to, and there's sort of 4 or 5 of them, all doing classes. The problem is throughout the day, and they're all kind of going to overlap, so you're not sure which one Sandra went to and what time.
Okay, then that's gonna be the rest of the day. I'm just gonna.
Okay, I need you to roll me.
Pottery.
So because there's like 5 different pottery studios, they're all running lessons throughout the day.
I'm not gonna go to there. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go to there immediately. I'm gonna go somewhere across the street, even maybe hire an Uber and sit in there and look at it. If that's not too.
Well, they're quite spread out, so you'd have to drive between each one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, you need me to base.
I want you to make a D100 check to see if you get lucky.
No. Wait, this is Dante you're talking about. He'll find a way to to maybe minimize what he has to do. Okay. I think I can find a picture in social media.
You can, yeah. So you find a couple of pictures on social media, going through social media, and very frustratingly, she rarely mentions the place she's at. But you do see in one of them, she's making a pot in a studio interior that looks like it's looking. It's got like a window sort of shining through, and it's early in the morning. You can tell, so it's definitely got sort of like an east-facing building.
Okay,
and
so
that
it's
immediately,
early in the morning.
Yeah, you immediately
I need to rush now and go through every one of them.
You are able to, with this, you're able to tell that 2 things. First of all, her lessons are usually early in the morning. Second thing is that it's probably one of the studios that is facing the east. And there's 2 of those that both, looking at their Facebook things, they both have very similar interiors. And it's very frustrating to tell. So give me a 50-50 D100 roll.
A coin flip.
Higher than 50, you get the right one. Lower than 50, you get the wrong one.
I'll still rush to the second one after.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. It's gonna.
Fuck off.
Okay.
I get to the first one.
You arrive at the first one, and it's gonna take you a while because, first of all, you're gonna watch
Uber.
You don't know exactly. Yeah, but you don't know exactly like when the lesson is. It's early in the morning. You don't know exactly when though. And the lessons are sort of like 30 minutes between.
Don't they have a schedule printed out somewhere?
Yeah, but they're 30 minutes in between. So that early morning thing could be, any time within in like a 3-hour slot. Which is like multiple lessons.
Oh.
That's 6 lessons.
Okay.
So you go to the first one.
I have to ask someone.
Yeah, you go to the first one. I'm going to say for the majority of the time, it just you don't, and you by the time you get to the second one, you're sort of like, fuck, you had a good plan. You're onto it. You know it's one of these 2 places. I'm going to say because you stayed. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say you've stayed all of the. Actually, I'm going to say for certain it's the second one now.
So do you need? I'll give you a toe-to-toe, right? That's only fair.
Yeah.
See if I can get to the second one in time.
Yeah, brilliant.
And the only thing here that works is I'll open a map while I'm waiting for her in the first one. While I'm waiting for in the first one in the first place, I'll open a map while I'm bored. I'm like, if I need to run to the second one. So before I get the idea that she's not going to come here, I'm going to open Google Maps and I'm going to map the shortest distance so I can just bolt there.
Okay.
Use map.
Give me a go toe-to-toe.
Think logical analysis.
Logical analysis. It's not really a logical analysis,
No.
I would say I would more allow ones for like urgency of movement or like speed here.
To be fair though, I am looking at this problem from another angle, meaning I'm not just trying to run fast, I'm trying to shorten the distance I'm running.
I think the problem here isn't really like there's only so much a shortcut can help you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna say no.
Let's go toe to toe. Power 1.
And it's a great success anyway. Fucking hell. Oof.
Hey,
Right.
yeah, Dante runs like mad. Dante, like as soon as he twigs it, his boots are just
Okay, you arrive and you
zooms
burst
out of
into
that.
the pottery thing, and the next
I
class is
don't
already
burst.
the next class is already
I
filing
look through the
in.
window first.
Yeah, the next class is already filing in, and she's not there, and you're like, well, they've just left. They've got to be here somewhere. You start pelting through the streets, and for a moment you're just like searching desperately. You don't see anything, and then just pure luck, you look down one of the streets and see her standing beside, walking down the road. Sort of her sort bubbly, reddish hair sort of bouncing along as she speaks to one of the other girls. As she's walking down the street, away from you, and you do recognize
Yeah.
her immediately.
Dante runs up to her, but like slows down his pace before he gets to her. You
You
know, a
see she's walking
few
beside
meters.
a girl to her right, and there's a sort of a tallish man to her left.
Do I remember that that's her husband or anything?
You doesn't look like her husband, but looks like one of the people in the lesson. Is like he's got clay on his hands.
Oh, okay, good. I'll just Sandra, just from the back.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Oh.
Remember me?
Um. Of course, I remember you. Uh.
Dante.
Dante. I
Sorry,
was just about to say that. You see, she looks flustered. She's looked like she's aged a lot in the last couple of days. And at once, the two people beside her kind of look defensive of her. And you can tell there's like she looks really worn out and really tired.
Yeah, it also understandable. Motherfucker has leather gloves on his hands. So he's just like he takes them off, kind of hurriedly a little bit, puts them in his pocket, and says, how have you been?
Um,
Sorry,
I've been alright.
I don't see many familiar faces in Omanok these days. It was
Both of the people sort of look at one another, and the tall man goes, "Michael, nice to meet you." And the girl goes,
a pleasure,
and Alexandra." And she
also a
takes her.
pleasure.
Yes, these are my friends, Michael, Alexandra. Um, yes, I've been alright. And then you
What?
see
Okay,
realization starts to dawn on her eyes as she starts to put together who you actually are. And she goes, "Oh, oh, Dante.
Yeah.
Right."
Probably helps that I'm not smiling at all when I'm saying hi. Pleasure to meet you.
She looks to the two people and she goes, "Go on without me. I just want to chat really quickly." And they sort of look at her like, "You sure? You're okay?" And she goes, I'll be absolutely fine." And they head on. She goes, "You're here to talk about, aren't you?"
Yeah. He nods without saying anything. Just looks her dead in the eyes and nods.
I can't help but worrying. Was it the same when it
Yeah.
happened to you?
Can we speak someplace? I don't know.
She glances left and right. She goes, I'm not sure. Do you know somewhere that
Do you have
they
a car?
yes, but well, it's not my car. It's my husband's, but he's yes. And she starts to move away and beckons you to follow.
What were you about to say? They?
She sort of goes, "Shh, shh, shh. Just follow me." She gets to the car.
Okay.
It's a nice-ish car, but definitely has seen the wear and tear of children. Sort of like juice packets on the ground and like stains here and there. But a bit of sort of like it's almost like a faded stain, like you're not sure why it hasn't been fully cleaned out. Like her kids, mostly
All
from your
right.
memory, are old enough to be. I don't
When
know.
when we get to the car, I take out a notebook out of my pocket. I write on it the words, "Excuse me," and just start looking around, like opening the glove box, looking to see if there is anything like unusual. She'll probably understand,
Oof.
like still wearing my leather gloves.
Give me.
See if she is like as she's driving. I'll just Right leg, drive. I'll look for anything unusual.
She starts to drive and pull out. She's looking at you confused, a little uncertain, but she sort of lets you drive. She drives on. I'm gonna ask for just a straight investigation check, and just
No
just the one
tags?
question, no tags, just you're searching the car because this is sort of a
Well,
bit of
this is
a
a doesn't miss a detail.
yeah. It
In
doesn't
all
matter. I'll
honesty,
allow. It
that's it.
doesn't matter detail.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Use that one. Okay.
What that roll?
You
10.
go. You
I'm pretty
search
good.
through the entire of the car, checking over everything. Doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. It's sort of like
Okay, so
very
this probably
family
takes a
car.
good like 7 minutes. After which Dante like relaxes, closes everything, like puts the blinders and stuff back up as they were, and everything's like, sorry, can never be too careful these days.
I understand. I think
Faith didn't have a lot of time to tell me things,
she
so
didn't talk to me long
forgive
either.
me, but I never learned the name of your child.
Ian.
Ian. Right.
He was. He is
He is.
such a good boy.
He is.
I don't understand what happened. I dropped him off at school. I drove him in. I left him there. And then the teachers just said that he'd left to go to the bathroom in the middle of class. And
Dante looks pale.
he never came home.
Takes a couple of breaths and says, what school?
Just the yarn scale high school. Just the not high school. Sorry, just the first year school. She goes.
He's 7.
You sort of know that this is not the school that your daughter went to, Vanessa went to.
Yeah, okay.
But she goes.
So, this happened when?
About a month ago, a bit more. I've been on the police non-stop. Nothing, no leads, no sign of him. It's like he just
Who were the detectives?
vanished. She wipes her eyes and she goes, there was only one of them, really, that I spent a lot of time with. Nicholas Merrier. Gruff man. Not much patience, really.
Right. That would be him.
I
Can
kept...
you tell me about Ian? Forget the police. Forget everything bad. Tell me about Ian.
He was a
What's he like?
good boy. Full of creativity. Always writing stories and coming up with things. He loved movies and he was... I'm sorry,
He is, Sandra. You have to believe that.
Yes. He's always been quite adventurous, you know. He's always had a knack for running off and I thought that's just what he was doing, you know. He's never gotten on well with his father and he's always sort of just lived in his own little world, and I thought he'd just, I don't know, gone off for a while, and then I kept asking the police and we got nowhere. Nothing. No leads. Nothing. How can there be nothing? How can a boy just disappear?
Well, in my experience, it can. I wish I had better answers for you. I hope I will have better answers for you. Anything else? Anybody else came by, spoke to you?
Yeah. One person. He was rather handsome, really. Came over and sort of was very kind. He said he was a sort of a counsellor or something, a grief counsellor or something. Had a couple of meetings with me. Still see him from time to time. Comes over to talk me through things. Helps. And there was another sort of, when I wouldn't stop asking questions, I had a very strange night one night. She sort of looks at you a bit confused. She goes, man in the street sort of followed me for a bit.
I see. Sandra, I need to ask you something.
Yes?
Can you please never mention me to anyone?
She sort of looks very confused and she goes,
Not even your grief counsellor.
oh, okay. Do you know something? Do you know something about Ian?
No. I wish I did. I only learned that he disappeared yesterday. Sorry, the day before. I thought I should come see you, and it took a while to remember daylight also.
Well, maybe we'll both get good fortune.
If you think of anything, I'm going to leave my number on a piece of paper in your glove box, okay? Write me under whatever other name. Only call me if you remember anything.
Okay.
Don't contact me otherwise, because look, this may seem all a touch paranoid. I know I'm coming across as a maybe even slightly unhinged person. The truth is, there is lots to be paranoid about. Our children are elsewhere. We don't know where, we don't know how they are, we don't know if they're all right, we don't know if anybody tucks them in at night. We don't know shit. The only thing we do know is all of this is just too bloody similar.
She's just sort of openly weeping as you say the rest of this, but takes some comfort in everything that you've said altogether. She drives on with you for a while.
By now, if she stopped the car to cry, Dante will actually give her a hug.
She gladly accepts the hug, though there's a little little flinch away. You get the feeling she doesn't get a huge amount of affection in her relationship, so
he'll just let her cry on his shoulder
for
a good while until she can drive on.
Finally, sort of the sobbing eases and she drives on.
You can let me out anywhere, okay?
She nods,
doesn't matter.
And
I'll get home.
She nods, and after a while, she draws her car up onto the side and lets you out. And as you step out, she turns. She goes, "Dante."
Yes, Sandra.
I hope you find her.
I will.
And she drives on.
Yep.
And I think that's where we're going to have to end. Yeah, I don't know yet. I think that's where we're going to have to end tonight.
That's a good place to end. That's a very good place to end. Everything else is admin.